This is where the magic happens. So basically almost everything you see in here is stuff that we've either propagated or saved. So brought back to life or done cuttings from. Some things we purchase and some things we purchase just to do cuttings off of so we can make more plants. Kind of subsidize our budget for planting. All of these were made from cuttings, from making a small, taking a part of this plant, something that small, and sticking it in a medium and then having it root to become that. So, and a lot of things that we do in here are from cuttings. We try to grow only things in here that will grow in our environment so we're not wasting our time or money. Some things do really well. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a labor of love. We love doing this. This is the best part of our job. This is where we keep all of our stock trees. We have all these on irrigation, but these are all replacement trees for whenever trees get damaged in the parks, or whenever we need to replace them for insect problems or things of that nature. So these are all 6-inch downspouts that's going to connect to the gutter line. We're going to have a 6-inch gutter going across the top, coming down the first, third, and 6th column. You can see that one pipe down there is still exposed. It hasn't been capped with this exterior sheeting, but they capped them to protect them from the sun, the elements, and people. We have in the past had a big problem with the watershed off of this roof. It's a large space and it just puddles right in the center field here. And so trying to get rid of the drainage problem and still help out the trees in the process and utilize some of that water, that runoff. Okay, so this is the 4-H building. This is where the master gardeners have their greenhouse where they propagate their plants for their plant sale, which they just had this last weekend. Master gardeners are really awesome in the fact that we have the only master gardener plan in the state of Texas that actually grows their own plants. Basil, red Turk's cap, Annalena, lantana, rock rose. I'm looking for things that I don't have or things that I usually make cuttings myself of and use in abundance. Mints do really good. They're kind of invasive. If you put them in the right spot though, they're a really good ground cover around here. And they smell good, and most aromatic stuff like that keeps mosquitoes away, so we'll take this. So all of these bluebonnets are free-seeded here for years. So there's sometimes we got to go in and take some of them out because they crowd out some of our perennial plants, stuff like that. Bluebonnet seeds take a minute to scarify in the ground, and so over the years, if we have a bumper crop of bluebonnets and we let them seed, a few years later we might get something like this. Sometimes they're a little thin, but we had a good season last year and a lot of seed apparently got into the ground. So over the past few years, we've been concentrating just on sticking orange poppy on this side and having the blue on that side, and I think we achieved that. What you see here is what we seeded last year, we're successful with. Obviously, it didn't take in a lot of spots. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-slice this whole area and then reseed it again, trying to fill in some of these bare spots, and we'll see if we get more coverage this year. That's actually pretty moist up to the surface, so that's good. But this dries out very quickly if we don't keep moisture on it, especially during germination. It doesn't take but a few hours for you to kill the seed from the sun burning it with no moisture. And this is also how we determine in all the parks whether we need to turn on the water systems or not. We don't turn them on unless there's not moisture underneath the ground. Okay, so like normally for a zone like that, we would water, to get a 1-inch penetration would be 2 hours for those rotors up there. But because of the way the terrain is over here, we can't let those go that long because it just sheds back and we waste water. It doesn't soak in. So we have to do it for short bursts at a time so we get a little absorption. It makes it a lot more difficult to water it as well. Checking to see if anything's been eaten through. So we can run this system tomorrow if it's good. Of course, we'll have to check it in the morning because the squirrels will be here overnight. We see all day long people, you know, in our park systems that use these spaces with their kids and taking pictures and stuff like that and creating memories with their families. And I'm glad that I'm a part of that. Gives me a lot of pride and makes me proud to, you know, say I'm from San Angelo and that we have beautiful park spaces and that our citizens really enjoy them.